Stephanie Piche, and Cynthia and I are day drinking, kind of. Sort of.
Officially we're not supposed to be, but
officially we're not supposed to be.
We're going to show you how you can day drink and not get drunk.
This is our mocktail episode. You've been asking me to do this for quite a while. I've been thinking about it only because I spend so much time drinking in short bursts quite a bit. I spend 2 or 3 days usually in between. So I was at a wine festival last weekend. So by the time I come home and then Monday, Tuesday, it's just I'm drinking sparkling water and basically that's it. But especially with the summer, sometimes you just like craving something fruity and fun or whatever. But it's just you need to give the liver a break once in a while, right?
And for me, with having kids, younger kids, and even older kids, like my son is 16, his girlfriend is 18, and my daughter's 15. And they like the sophistication of having like a nice drink, but obviously we're not going to be pouring alcohol down their throat because that would not be legal here in Ontario. So instead,
or good parenting.
Or good parenting. she just said I might be a good parent.
Or good parenting.
But it's that idea of still having something fun to drink, or if you've got, like I've got friends who are recovering alcoholics, and I've got friends who just never had interest in drinking.
Yep.
So these are kind of fun ways that we're not just going, here's your can of soda. We can actually give you like a nice fun drink to go along with all the oozy drinks that we make too.
Yeah, and well, not to mention, just like if there's some people who have food allergies and they can't have certain ingredients, you don't want to have a completely different, oh honey, I see you. Other recipes, Rory's here today.
Rory's going to say hi because she's been trying to say hi since we got here.
She's been scratching. Usually you just, now that you're at my house now, you're like, oh yeah, I remember her. She smells good. Smells like food. What was I saying? I lost track for a second.
Oh, people with food intolerances.
Oh yeah, the food intolerances. So as someone who actually feeds people, I always found that the people who have food intolerances or whatever always get stuck with the same foods all the time, or they're so far from what other people are eating around them that they really feel left out and they're not getting the same experience. So like it's the same thing would happen with cocktails, right? So if someone just is choosing not to drink for whatever those reasons, there are religious reasons and other considerations besides just health, that it might be just a better idea to have some kind of options.
Yeah, and what I've started doing at home now too when I entertain is I'll have like a mocktail bar like this with our alcohol bottles as well. Like I told Steph to pull out the gin for me because I might want something with a little bit of alcohol today too. But all of these ones that we're going to play with today, I've added gin, I've added rum, I've added tequila, I've added vodka. Basically any kind of clear alcohol tends to go really well with them as well. So then it's not even like a, look, that person's clearly having booze and that one isn't. It all looks the same, but you're having a good time and everyone's having the same drink.
Yeah, okay, well that makes sense. Okay, so what am I drinking first? And then I'll...
I'll show you the shrub first.
Okay.
And then we'll get into the kind of make your own fruity cocktail.
Okay,
because,
you can explain to us what a shrub is for those who don't? Okay, good.
I am. So a shrub is actually, it's like a syrup that's made with fresh fruit, sugar, and vinegar. So the vinegar gives it kind of an interesting, almost like a soury kind of a taste to it, and helps to preserve it as well too. So if you've got it in the fridge, it lasts for a few weeks as opposed to just lasting for a couple of days.
Okay.
So I'll post a recipe or a variation of the one that I used today, which is just basically, it was 12 ounces of raspberries, and then it was a cup of, it was supposed to be a full cup of vinegar, but I like to use balsamic vinegar, which has a very strong taste.
Oh.
So I just did half balsamic, half water
to
kind of keep the balsamic from overpowering the raspberries, and then a cup of sugar.
Okay.
Basically, so that is what is in here. So with the shrub, there's two ways of doing it. One, you can cook it like I did with this one, but you can also just put your ingredients in a jar and then put them in the fridge for a few days, and then take it out. You get the same experience. I kind of like it's almost like a jammy flavor when you cook it as opposed to doing it freshly. And if I were to do kind of the fresh version of it, I would just do this fresh cocktail. I'll show you in a second. So.
Okay.
So now you might be able to hear us even better.
Yeah. So we didn't have us record. Usually you would edit that part out, but not today because it's summertime. We don't care.
We haven't had anything to drink.
I know. We can't even use it. Just I got other things in my brain.
So with your shrub, once it's made, there's one more step before you actually drink it, and that is, I figured I'd kind of show you because it's the messy, fun step. Is we need to strain our pulp in our pits.
Do you want a smaller one than that?
If you've got a smaller one, that would be great.
I do.
Because I do have a smaller one, but my
right.
children put my dishes away, and I can't always find things because they don't actually go where they're supposed to go.
I have that exact same one, I think. I don't know where I got it.
I have this exact same one. See? Twinsies. Okay. So we're gonna actually I can already strain some of it, but I want to make sure that
We're going to put pictures and the recipes and stuff, of course, in the show notes. We're at episode 44 this week. So it is stephaniepiche.ca/flavor2-44. So that's season 2, episode 44.
And this shrub is going to be the only one you're actually going to get a recipe for. Everything else is to taste.
Okay.
And that's kind of on purpose because that's what I really like about the fun of doing these kind of cocktails is you kind of play with it, decide what kind of combinations you like. You make it as sweet or not sweet as you want. All of these can be done without any kind of sweetness. The shrub's pretty sweet already, but when we do the other cocktail as well, it has simple syrup added. But a lot of people, if you're diabetic or you just don't like things overly sweet or you're watching your calories,
like me,
then I wouldn't put any simple syrup and just go with the sweetness of the fruit. So that's our...
Some people like sweet things. I'm just
sweet
enough.
I knew it was coming.
And
I said I like it, and you're like, oh, I'm sweet enough. Well, apparently I'm not. That's fine. Whatever. Okay. Can I have, I think that one I think would be pretty. No, this one.
This one?
Yeah, what do you think?
Sure. Norm bought these for me for something, these glasses. I have a large array of glasses in my house.
Just a few. And we're gonna fill them with ice.
Okay.
This is my handy little sous chef.
Yay! I'm gonna get a spoon.
Yeah, see, I hate those little tongs. The last time we were here, I cursed about the tongs because they got in the way.
So you said fill, right?
Yeah.
There's another bag of ice.
I like my beverages really cold, and the more ice you put in it, the more flavor you've got because you're not watering down your drink as much with just a little bit of ice.
So I learned something. I have been binge watching old episodes of Bar Rescue. Shout out to John Taffer. And one of the things that I learned it had to do with the shape of ice. So now I've been noticing that some of the... I'm getting more. So I have No, not these ones. This is from my new ice making machine.
I was looking at the shape.
Shapes.
They're like little fingers that you could actually do little shots in them.
I know. I don't think that's what it's designed for, but he had. But they were saying if you do flatter squares. So I guess some hotels, those ones, if you fill it up, because there's more surface area on it, it will actually chill your drink faster.
Interesting. Well, makes sense.
So yeah, it does make sense, but I didn't realize that before. So now every time I get ice when I'm out someplace, I keep looking at the shape of the ice cubes. I'm such a nerd.
They're all pretty standard here. Like everyone uses the same kind of ice machine in Sudbury.
Usually,
you'll see them more in like the bigger boutique-y bars in bigger cities where you see.
And I've got the big. The big squares, and I got big round ones and stuff like that in there for when I'm having my something on the rocks later at night.
That's fun. So, and my thing too is, especially with summer, can you grab me my big mug thing?
Yep.
Summer, this is like my best friend, and this is not like solicited by Yeti in any way, but I put a drink in here with ice, and I still have ice the next morning. It keeps it that cold. So I think especially when you're doing a cocktail like this, you don't want it too watered down by your ice as well. If you're not doing the fancy pretty thing, if you just want functional, something like this is amazing in the summer.
Well, for the last episode, she wasn't here, but Stacy and we were outside and we were actually using a new brewmate system. That we got. So we each have the little stemless wine glasses for holding it in, but we also got the wine bottle. Yeah. So you can pour the entire bottle. And I'm bringing it camping. But that's a whole other thing.
Bringing my Coolitron to keep it cold, then we pour it into the brewmate, and then we're good to go.
We're going to need an entire caravan just of gear for 2 days.
Because the trailer I'm bringing is all packed up, so I can't even put anything in the trailer to help. So.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so with this, how I tend to do it, you can do about a quarter of the syrup to 3/4 of the club soda.
Okay.
So that would be 1 part syrup to 3 parts soda.
Gotcha.
Is kind of my favorite way of doing it. So I'm gonna wing it because I don't like to measure.
That's fine. Shrub. We're even using Fever Tree Club soda because we fancy.
Well, I was gonna do my Soda Stream, which is what I use in the summer because this can get quite pricey.
Yep.
But I just didn't have time to make Soda Stream today, and the kids didn't get home for me to ask them to make it until too late. And then with this one,
smells good. I can smell the balsamic.
With the raspberry, I always like to put a little bit of mint, and I squish my mint before I stick it in to help let the oils kind of come out and the flavors start coming.
Some people smack it too, right?
I'll smack you.
Smack that mint.
Where's our pretty fancy paper?
Did you want paper straws?
No, I hate them. But they're the only ones you have.
I'm going to get them for you anyways because you make fun of them and I got to use them up. And I have a lot of
I realized as we were sitting, I'm like, oh, I didn't get straws out. I thought, oh, she's only got those freaking paper ones. But they're cute.
Ones. They are cute.
And it is fun when you're making a cocktail to put a fun, colorful straw.
I'm just going to make you drink faster. So one of these says stay refreshed. So there you go. And this one says fizz fizz.
So you want to give it a little stir, otherwise you're going to get your first mouthful is going to be all syrup.
Yep.
And give it a sip.
Oh, that's good. It's not, I think with the vinegar, it actually balances it out. It's not as sweet.
It's not as sweet as you'd expect, eh? And what I like I said, is I'll make like a mason jar like this up of it, put it in the fridge, and it lasts me a couple of weeks. And the kids, again, will have it with the club soda. I might add a little bit of gin. With this one, I like a gin because it with the sweetness, it adds a little bit more tartness to it.
Okay. One of the things that I wanted to mention, so I saw our friend Jimmy last weekend.
I wondered. I was gonna message him when I saw him posting.
I did. He sent me a bunch of more. He posted more pictures from the I4C Cool Chardonnay Festival that we were at last weekend. He was talking about, because Jimmy doesn't drink. Mm-hmm. He was telling me about this new product that's out called Seedlip. So I'll put a link in the show notes. So essentially, it is distilled non-alcoholic liqueur.
Yum.
So I guess one of the first ones they have, it's called Spice. I had ordered it online. I was hoping it was going to be in for today for our taping, but it's not. But I'll post something on social media afterwards to let you know what it's like.
And she can bring it to camping so we can try it.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be in maybe tomorrow or something. I thought sure it'd be in by now. But it's through well.ca is where you can also order it. If you have an account with them, and it actually delivers to a local Rexall if you're here in Canada, which is kind of cool. So it's actually going to be delivered to my Rexall over here eventually.
Really?
So that if you want it shipped to your house. So it's supposed to, the spice one is supposed to mimic gin, I guess, with all the different spices, and I guess there's a touch of allspice and stuff. So I actually wanted to do a gin and tonic, so maybe we can test that out on the weekend when it comes
Sounds
in.
Good.
So I wanted to test one bottle first to see what it's like, and then they have another one. They have another one. It's got a lot of orange in it. So there's different styles that are there. So I think it's supposed to mimic the flavors of other alcohol. I wouldn't necessarily think it's the greatest idea for people who are maybe having an alcohol issue and are trying to stay away from it completely.
Like a recovering alcoholic who maybe is not comfortable
maybe
with
doesn't want to be
that,
remembering what your favorite gin tastes like. But for other people who are just trying to stay away from health reasons and want it for cocktails and want to be able to contribute something for parties and punches and everything else and still get that same great flavor, I think it's a really cool idea. So I will let you know when I try it out, because that was I got the first one at gin because I thought that would be fun for us to do.
Who thought Seedlip would be an appetizing name for something edible?
I don't know. Maybe I'll reach out to the people at Seedlip and find out. But they have there's a whole website with all different products. So
awesome. And
there's a lot of recipes and things. So if you decide you want to give it a try, they actually have a lot of great cocktail recipes right on their website for it.
Awesome.
Which is kind of cool.
Very cool.
Okay, what's next?
Ready for the next one?
Yep.
So the next one doesn't really have a name. Although interestingly, I ran into a lady who I don't know in the metro on the way over when I was buying like my fresh herbs and the fresh fruit. And she was like, you're having a mojito night. And I was like, well, actually it's non-alcoholic. She's like, oh, I'm really sad for you right now. So these are probably initially inspired by my love for mojitos.
Yep.
Because I love the refreshing kind of the mint and the lime and the soda, and it just kind of like on a day like today when it's hot out and sticky, and I'm not one for like having a heavier kind of cocktail. Like I love a Caesar, but I don't love a Caesar on a super hot day. That kind of thing. So I started drinking mojitos, which are not the cheapest drinks to buy at most bars and restaurants. So this is, I started making these out of necessity. And I'm going to show you two ways on how to do these. Okay. One is with a French press, and one is with a cocktail shaker and a muddler. So I wanted to show that you don't have to go and buy fancy equipment to do them as well. These are things a lot of people have in their kitchens. Like a lot of people have a French press, or they might have the cocktail shaker. So there are a couple of options.
French press. They're not very expensive.
Yeah. I don't remember where. No, we won that at. Mark won it at Flavorfest.
Oh,
that's where that comes from.
Very cool. Wait till you see what I'm bringing for camping. I found an insulated mug with a built-in French press.
Of course you did.
I was so excited when I found it today, and I was like, "Oh, I'll let you wait and surprise it the weekend." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna have it." So yeah, so how cool is that going to be?
That is cool.
So yeah, so he does his own French press, and then you can drink out of it, the same mug.
That's awesome.
I know. So I'm going to test.
So for the rest of us, I guess I'm going to have to bring my French press.
Well, I was going to bring. I actually have some like small single ones. I did have one of those packed anyways, but I mean, it's just going to be me and Alex and Bree don't drink coffee. Norm's not coming in until Sunday. So by the time he wants coffee on Monday, and that's the day we're leaving, he may or may not want it anyway.
Okay,
so
big deal. Yeah, very cool.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to show you the muddler first, just because it's a little bit easier
But you
to
could
kind
do the
of
cocktail
demonstrate.
in that French. If it's an insulated mug,
You could,
right?
and then it would keep it cold.
Yeah. So there you go.
I think I need one of these
I don't
mugs.
think Canadian Tire really planned to put those out for
funny
cocktail
how that
worthy,
happens,
but
right?
it's funny how that.
Okay, so basically what I've got is an array of fresh fruit, and I've got cucumbers, which are not really a fruit, but I really like the freshness of the cucumbers. So I'm actually not going to tell you what ingredients to put in it. I'm going to get you to pick. So I'll tell you what I've got here. Well, you can see, but I'll tell you guys and people listening what I've got here. I've got some sliced up cucumber. I've got some sliced up watermelon. I've got fresh picked Ontario strawberries that we picked last week. And what I did with our fresh strawberries is I dunked them in really cold water, took the stems off, and froze them in a vacuum seal bag.
Okay.
So now I literally got them in 1 cup serves, so I can literally pull them out and mix 2 drinks.
Okay.
I've got lime, I've got basil, and I've got mint.
So I'm a traditionalist. So we're doing 2 different ones. So I'm thinking watermelon, strawberry with the basil, and then I'm doing mint and lime and cucumber.
I like it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do our...
Was that the right answer?
No,
Oh.
there's no right answer. No, but this
gonna-
is fun.
Do we have enough ice in here, you think, for the 2 drinks?
Probably not. And actually, you know what I'm going to do, because
Hang
the
on.
cucumber and the lime... Am I doing cucumber, lime, and mint?
Yes. Cucumber, lime, mint. Yes.
Yeah, so like I said, it is not...
Pardon your ears. Hang on a second. They're all tricky. I'm breaking up ice.
There we go. I don't measure it. I do like a handful of this, a handful of that. Top it up, mush it all up, top it off with our soda. So let's see how it goes. So I'm doing...
That should be enough.
So I've got about a handful of cucumber. I've got about 3, and do 4 mint leaves and the lime. So I'm going to juice my lime, but then I'm also going to stick my lime in there as well too. I juice it to get as much kind of juice out of it as possible, but by sticking the lime in there as well, we're going to get the oils from the rinds. And as it keeps infusing, you keep getting more flavor of lime out of there. So dump that in there. Dump that in there. And I also do, which is weird to some people, just a little bit of my soda in there. It makes it a little bit easier to muddle it, I find, than just
Makes
muddling
sense.
it dry,
That does
right?
make sense.
So this is not a muddler. This is actually like a potato masher,
But it
but
fits.
it does the trick.
Just about anything works. I used to use like the, I actually, you can pretty much use anything.
Can I use a wooden spoon?
Whisk works, right? Because it's got the spaces in between and whatever to sort of chop it up.
It smells good. It smells really fresh. Okay, so once we've got that, I was going to strain it, but no, I'm not going to strain it, because I'm actually going to take a bigger glass. So take the fatter glass.
This one?
Yeah. And we're going to dump it all in. And we're going to top it with our soda.
Oh,
It's like I planned it.
that's pretty.
And then from there, I would add some simple syrup to it, because I like it a little bit sweeter.
Okay.
You might find there's a lot of lime in there. You may want to... And you may
I like
add
it
a little bit,
puckery,
but
that's
there you
just
go.
me. Okay.
So that one is yours.
I'm gonna try it first. I'm getting bubbles in my nose.
It's going to be puckery.
See, I like it puckery though.
Perfect.
We'd be colder though.
And then I forgot the ice. Oh yeah, we put ice in first, then we top it over top. I'm
we'll
going
just
to
fix
do
it,
this
do
because my hand is full of juice.
See, I'm just gonna put ice in it like this and let it sit while you make the
And
other
then-
one, and then it'll be ready.
And then what I will do with this is I will actually keep topping it with club soda all day. Not all day, but for
yeah.
like an hour or whatever, and
Okay.
get it all, because it keeps infusing into your soda.
Oh, that'd
so
be
it's,
good.
it's kind of like when you do a fruit tea and you keep adding hot water to refresh your tea. You can
Yep.
do the same thing with that.
Stretch it out. So it's budget friendly as well.
Right?
Okay.
Okay, so our
Next.
second one we're going to do in the press.
Oh, frozen strawberries. Every time I see frozen strawberries, I think about my grandmother. That's what she always used for her cheesecake.
Yes, on the top of the cheesecake.
Yes, she always made like the no-bake cheesecake, right, in the big 13 by 9
then
pan
do the
with the
frozen
graham
strawberries
crusts,
on
and then
top.
you did frozen
I
strawberries.
do the
on
same
top.
thing. So, watch.
Okay. Good thing we're not wearing white today. So for those of you who can't see, she is hand squeezing her watermelon.
I'm just squishing
chunks
my watermelon first.
directly in there.
Because again, it's supposed to be easy, it's supposed to be fun,
Yep.
and it's tasty. Oh, I'm gonna throw this there instead of in front of us, and then we're doing the basil, right?
Yeah.
And again,
Because I
I'm
like
gonna.
watermelon and basil.
Me too.
And then I thought the strawberry would give it the extra sweetness, and then you don't really need...
And I beat it up a little bit. And then...
Press.
Can I have the ice, please?
Yes, please. So you want it on top like this?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because otherwise, if it's underneath, I won't be able to squish and get all that really good juice.
Okay, so for those of you who are listening on the audio podcast, so the French press, she has it, the top part pushed in just enough to push down those main ingredients. And then she's holding it on, and I'm just putting the ice on top of the press. So the ingredients are on the bottom and the ice is on the top. More?
That's good.
Okay.
And so the reason I do it that way is so that our we don't get all this ice stuck underneath the press, and we're not actually able to press the fruit.
Makes sense.
This is why I do it that way. So you can let this macerate a little bit if you want, which is let it kind of like let the juices mix. But I'm going to go straight to making it and drinking it because I never have the patience to wait. There's some more soda over there.
Okay, or do you want to open that, or do you want a small can, or do you want your fever tree?
Oh, this is fine.
We'll splurge today.
This is what we bought it for, so let's...
Okay.
And I'm just going to top it with my fever tree. And again, this is another one that you can definitely keep topping with soda throughout the
I'm just
afternoon.
thinking, could you not, like for this one, I would put tonic.
Absolutely.
Right? Because it would still give me that flavor with the
You
gin
get
and
that
tonic.
kind of gin and tonic taste to it, 100%.
And actually, even tonic water would be actually good with the strawberries and stuff in there too. So you don't have to.
So I mean, this is very like a do your own.
If you really have a lot of need a lot of sweetness, like 7-Up or Sprite would do the same thing, right?
Yeah. So and again, same thing. So if I was doing this for me at this point, I'd add a little bit of simple syrup.
Yep.
As well too. Stephanie doesn't like it quite as sweet, so now we can see that our flavors in the bottom are kind of like mixing yummily. And we're just going to press on our press, and that's going to actually squeeze the flavor out, and it makes a pretty drink there.
That's cool.
So, and this one for sure you could top with more soda water, and again, this would do like a couple of drinks for sure.
I've got some frozen fruit in my freezer that I'm going to bring for camping, and then I can test it out in my new French press.
Okay, so let's do the big margarita glass for fun because it's pretty.
Because we can.
And then the difference between the two is that the only thing I guess don't like, for the lack of a better word, is that when you dump the one out of the French press, you don't get all the pretty fruit with it. So then basically that's just your excuse to top it up with some more club soda and have your second drink.
That's a nice color.
And so this one I would actually
put in the basil. Basil and lime? It almost has, if you didn't have that basil in there, it would almost look like a Cosmo, right?
Very much so, eh? That and a little bit of that.
Pretty!
There you go.
Oh, that's awesome. So I'm going to take...
Those are our 3.
We'll do a photo so we can post it later so you can see what our final products look like if you're listening on the audio show.
So the number one thing I want to say is that don't be afraid to try your favorite things in it. You can do mangoes. You can do pineapple. You can like whatever fruit... Something that squeezes juice out of, you could do and make a fun cocktail out of it. There's some of these basic, where are we? Go away. There's some of these like basic ones, like, okay, come on. We know when we do the watermelon feta basil salad, it tastes fantastic. And we know that cucumber and mint are really nice together. But I would interchange any of these easily and it would still make a really delicious drink. So experiment and find the ones you like the best.
It sounds good. You can also ask for for those of you who are going out places and you want to try mocktails. Sometimes restaurants and bars don't necessarily advertise them very well, but they will all make virgin versions of most of the drinks that you have. So things like, I know my mother always has a Virgin Caesars all the time.
Virgin mojito.
Yeah, and daiquiris are another big one. So there's a lot of different options that are out there. So don't hesitate to ask your favorite restaurant or bar if you can make a non-alcoholic version of something so that when everybody else is having cocktails in the patio at this time of year, at least you can still have one as well.
One thing I didn't cover and we talked about was blender drinks, and the only reason I didn't is that it just makes a lot of noise and it's really messy. But it's really, really easy to do a blender drink as well. You can use your fresh ingredients like I did here and just add your ice and blend them instead of serving it over the rocks. But if you're looking for a really simple, you got a lot of people around, whatever, you can get the ready mix kind of Mott's and other companies. There's one with the T that makes the syrup. You just do 16 ounces worth of liquid.
Okay.
And then fill up your blender with ice and do your thing.
there's a lot of options.
Yeah.
So now we don't have any excuses anymore when we say because I still like my anyway.
But I may add my gin to one or two of these when the camera's done.
That's the whole thing is that I'm not a huge cocktail person, but every once in a while I want something that's refreshing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be chugging wine.
Exactly.
In the heat. So the next episode, don't forget, for those of you who are just catching up on our summer schedule, we are on to 2 weeks schedules now.
Yeah.
So every second week. So a couple weeks ago, we did the one about bugs. That was to prep us, to get us ready because of camping.
I don't want to talk about it.
So we're going next weekend. We are going to post some stuff on social media, but then we're going to be pulling it all together for one bigger episode.
So look, I got my camping manicure, so I'm ready to go camping. Oh my Lord,
she's got a manicure. It's so funny. All these episodes, she's always called me the princess, and I'm thinking, okay, and here I am, like I'm putting together tent poles and stuff, and she's probably just going to stand there and watch me and applaud.
Freaking right. I'm going to work the camera.
That's awesome. Anyways, we'll take little video things. There'll be a lot of tips on just packing, little things that I've learned over the years. What to splurge on, what to save money on, and how you can basically just have a certain amount of gear. I have one box of supplies that's in my garage, and I have more than enough stuff. Between that and then the tent and everything else, it's fitting in the back of my car, and I'll be good for the weekend. So I'll share all that kind of stuff next weekend, and it should be interesting.
It'll be interesting.
To say the least. Anyways, lots of eating, lots of drinking, so we will be cooking things and stuff there, so we'll have recipes for you next weekend as well. So we figure that's a great way to sort of send off the last month of the summer. So in the meantime, do you want to do Stacy's closing since she's not here?
In the meantime, like and subscribe on your favorite podcast and on YouTube. It's really all we have to say.
I know, it's one line. I know. Anyway, Stacy will be back probably next month because she's unfortunately can't make it to camping because she has some prior engagements at the last minute that she had to take care of. So she will be joining us for the following episode.
So what you're saying is she's not the one who's going to go out there and sweat and freeze and get bug bites
sweat and freeze.
Smell like bug dope for 3 days.
She's going to love it. You just wait. Anyways, until next weekend.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks so much for watching this video. We love putting it together. It's so much fun. All of our favorite things, good food, good drinks, a lot of travel talk, and we put it all together in one fun show. So make sure you follow us here, click on the videos below, follow, subscribe, and find us on your favorite podcast player. We'll see you on our next trip.